Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the fertilization in flowering plants. Okay, so let's see what exactly is fertilization and what is required for fertilization and what is the product. Okay, so we will discuss about all that. So before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree, also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So let's get started. So join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology, Unacademy ICSE and ISC both channels. So this link you will find in the description. Okay, so you can click on the link and join there. And we also conduct special classes on Unacademy platform. Learn from your favorite educator for free. Engage with educators via polls. Okay, so you can also clear your doubts in the live special classes. For the top special classes, you can visit the link in the description. Okay, so Unacademy subscription features, so you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Okay, so then you will have access to all the courses. So you will have unlimited access to, just a second. Okay, so unlimited access to all the courses. Then top educators of India are going to take the class in one platform, that is Unacademy platform. Then there is regular doubt clearing session. So after about every 3 sessions, the fourth session will be our doubt clearing session. So any doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubts in this session. Okay, then complete syllabus will be covered, mentorship and guidance is given, study material is given, practice tests, live test series and batch courses. So you will have access to all of this once you take the subscription. Along with that, there is a daily practice section, weekly mock test series. Okay, so live quizzes, daily MCQ and subjective test series will also be there. Okay, so now Unacademy plus subscription pricing. So let's have a look at. So now as this is for class 9, so you can just try with 6 months of subscription. Okay, and you know this is going to cost you around 10k. Okay, so since you are just in the beginning of class 9, and I suggest you all to go for 12 months of subscription, because you know as you go for higher months the cost is also getting reduced, and in YouTube classes or the special classes only certain percentage of syllabus is covered, not the whole syllabus. So for that what you can do is you can join the plus classes. So you will have a lot of options there. So you can, if you want to just like experience it, so you can take 6 months. If you want it further, like you can go for 12 months or maybe higher months of subscription. So there is a new academic year offer that is going on. So this is for both ICSE class 9 and 10. Okay, so here you can see, if you are subscribing for 12 months, all right, so you will be getting 2 months free extension and 3 months creative corner is there. So creative corner is to enhance your hobbies. Okay, so this will enhance your hobbies. Rest of it is about the courses. Okay, so if you are going for 18 months, so this is basically 3 months here, 3 months here. So 24 month subscription if you are going for it, so it will be 4 months extension. Okay, and 6 months of this creative corner. So as you can see, higher month you are getting, so basically extension is occurring. So if you are today is the last day, so if you are planning to take the plus subscription on Unacademy, so you can do it today, and the referral code is VANIYT. So this is my referral code. So with this referral code you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription. All right, so let's get started with the fertilization. Let me just check once. Alright, so let's go to the introduction part. Alright, so what exactly is fertilization? So what exactly are we going to study in this session? So we will see what is fertilization. Okay, So first we will see what is required for fertilization. Okay, so what is required for fertilization, anybody? So first we are going to discuss about what is required for fertilization. Okay, so here we will be studying about the male gametophyte, okay, and also the female gametophyte. So let's see what exactly is male gametophyte. Okay, so we will see that, and then we will also see what exactly is female gametophyte. So then where exactly these male and female gametes are present. So we will see this. Okay, then next one is what is fertilization. All right, so fertilization is what is required for fertilization, then how fertilization occurs. So we will see this as well. Okay, so how fertilization occurs, that is in case of plants. Okay, so this occurs in plants, we will see. Okay, so then we will see what is the product. So what is the product of fertilization. So we will see all of this in today's class, that is product of fertilization and how is it going to be helpful in the formation of a new plant. So these questions we are going to discuss today. Okay, so let's see this. Just a second. Yes, anybody, what is fertilization? Anybody has any idea? So what is fertilization, or what is required when we mention, like male gametophyte I have written here. So what is that? Female gametophyte is written. So what is that? Any idea about this? All right, so let's see this. Okay, so now the main event of sexual reproduction. So this is it is a sexual reproduction that we can see in case of plant. Okay, so there is involvement of two gametes will be there. So that is male gamete is required, all right, and a female gamete is required. So both of them together, so this is male gamete and a female gamete, so they are having a role with respect to sexual reproduction. So that is in case of plant, resulting in exchange of characters. So what kind of characters are exchanging? So some of the characteristic features that the plant is able to grow, so it can get from the male gamete. Some of the characteristic feature it can get from the female gamete. Hi, good evening, Ishwara. I am fine. How are you? Okay, so we will see this one. Okay, so let's see what exactly is required for fertilization. So let's discuss about the male gametophyte and a female gametophyte first. Okay, so let's see what exactly is the male gametophyte, and so let's see this one. 1 second. Okay, so now let's see what is male gametophyte. What is it? Anybody? Ishwara has any idea about this? What is male gametophyte? So there is a male gametophyte. The meaning is that which is male gamete in case of plants, right? So it is the pollen grain. Okay, so now let's draw this pollen grain. So this is now a pollen grain, and pollen grain is the male gametophyte. Okay, so if you observe the structure of the pollen grain, so basically this will have one smaller suspended cell. Okay, so this is a suspended cell that you can find. So there you can find two of the male gametes. Okay, so male gametophyte will have two male gametes. So this is two male gamete you will find in a pollen grain that is synthesized by the anther. Okay, so now this is this cell which is suspended here. So this is called as a generative cell, and this is a vegetative cell having its own nucleus along with all the cellular content, that is cytoplasm and all. Okay, yes, so I'll tell you what is it. So male gamete is this one. The pollen grain is having two of the nuclei, right? So two male nuclei, what are there? So those are the two male gametes we consider. Gametophyte is the body which is having a male gamete. So now this is a whole structure which is having a male gametes. Okay, so now this is a gametophyte. So now there is nothing different. So it is having the structure. So it is holding the male structures there. Okay, so now this pollen grain is the one which is going to fertilize the ovum. Okay, so let's see where exactly you find the ovum. So just a second, I'll explain it here itself. Okay, so now ovum, so where exactly egg. Okay, so the egg is present, or you know, the female gamete. So female gametophyte also we will see. So in that female gametophyte, so you can find a egg. Okay, so there you can find the egg. So that is ovum. So we can also call it as a ovum. Okay, so now you know, let's draw the stigma style and ovary. Okay, so let's draw stigma style and ovary. So there I'll explain you. So now you know, this is stigma and this is style over here. Okay, so you, one second. Oh, I erased this whole thing. Okay, anyway, so now you know, we will see this female gametophyte. So female gametophyte is, you know, basically we need to draw the structure called as the stigma style and ovary, and inside that only I can show you where exactly this is present. So now this is stigma. Okay, so this part is stigma. All right, so this one is style. Okay, and now this one which is going to extend further, so there you can see there is a ovum which is present. So this is a stigma style and ovary. Okay, so this is a ovary. So inside this ovary you will find, you know, ovule which is present. Okay, so let's see, ovule is present here. So let's say this is completely placed like this. So let's say this is a ovule now. So attached to this part you can find a structure, so that is called as a ovule. Okay, so this ovule, when we mention, so this is, you know, after the fertilization, so this is gonna become the seed. Yes, you can ask, Ishwara. Alright, so now this is stigma, style and ovary. So let's see the ovule inside. So inside the ovary, what do you find? So you always find the ovule inside. So now you know this structure, what you see here. So this is a ovule. Okay, so ovule is having a covering. So this we call, as of now, this we call as an integument. So there is a outer covering, and then you know you can find an inner covering. So this one is ovule. Okay, so this is ovule, and this end what you see, so this is a micropyle. So this is a micropyle opening, and the opposite of the micropyle is always a chalaza. Okay, so this is chalaza now. So now in this case we need to observe the male gametophyte. So this whole thing which I have drawn here, just a second, so this whole thing what you see, so this is basically a female reproductive part. Okay, so this one is a female reproductive part. We are going to discuss about the female gametophyte which is having a female. Okay, I mean female gamete, that is ovum is there. Okay, so this is female reproductive part. All right, so now in this case, okay, I think that color is not visible clearly, right? Okay, so let's see this. Yes, gamete is basically a sex cell. Okay, so gamete is sex cell. That means now gamete is there. So female gamete and male gamete when we mention. So female sex cell and male sex cell. So if we have to take an example of a human, okay, so male gamete is sperm. Okay, female gamete is ovum or egg. Okay, so same way in case of this also, so there is a female gamete, that is pollen grain is a gametophyte having a male gamete. Okay, then female gamete is egg or a ovum, so that is, you know, sex cell. So basically it is sex cell. So now inside this you can find a female gametophyte which bears the structure called as the egg. Okay, so now this one is basically embryo sac. Okay, so this one is embryo sac. So within that embryo sac, so you can see that there is a ovum. Okay, so this big one is ovum. Then you can also see that there is synergid cells are there. Okay, So synergid cells are there. So this side is micropylar end. So towards the micropylar end, you can find the egg cell and a synergid cell. Okay. So now we will just label this one. So this is egg. Okay. And this part is actually synergid. So all of this is called as a ovum. Okay. Now let's see this. So you have seen this already. So inside the ovary you can find a ovule. So inside the ovule you can find a embryo sac, and inside that embryo sac you find a egg or a ovum. Alright. So any doubt you have, you can ask still. Okay. Okay. So now this egg is found, and here towards the opposite side, so it is the antipodal cells that you find here. Okay, so these are the antipodal cell, and there is a polar nuclei that you find. Now in this case, as we have seen, so this is only the egg. Okay, so what we are going to discuss in today's class, what is required. So we saw the male gamete, we saw the female gamete. So how exactly this fertilization occurs in plant is what we need to study. Okay, so there is two types of fertilization that we can see in case of plants. Okay, so now angiosperms or flowering plants, so they show the unique feature of double fertilization. So this we can see in case of angiosperm. So we need to see what exactly is double fertilization now. Okay, so what is double fertilization? Anybody has any idea? So this is about double fertilization. No idea? Alright, so now double fertilization when we mention, so let's draw only the embryo sac, that is female gametophyte now. So now this one is a female gametophyte. Alright, so there is a egg over here. Alright, so there is a synergid over here. So opposite end is having a antipodal cells. Okay, so this is now an antipodal cell having its own nuclei. So this is also having its own nuclei. Now as soon as the stigma, okay, on top here you can see, okay, so as soon as the stigma starts to interact with the pollen grain which has reached here, so it will allow the germination of this pollen tube. Okay, so pollen tube will start to germinate. So this is basically pollen tube. Pollen tube starts to germinate. Okay, so once the pollen tube starts to germinate, because it is going to interact with the stigma, so now it will grow. So let's see, let's show you here itself. It will start to grow. Okay, so germination will start to happen, and it can enter this embryo sac over here. Okay, so this is going to enter the embryo sac over here. So we will just draw one more line. Okay, so now as the embryo sac enters over here, so not the embryo sac, sorry, as the pollen tube which is germinated, as it enters here, so this is gonna take a entry into the synergid. Okay, so this has taken an entry into the synergid now, where the male nuclei which are here, okay, so those male nuclei are passing, and you can observe that the male and the female gamete. So let's differentiate male gamete with different color. So now this one is a male gamete. So what has happened there? So through this particular pollen tube, so this is fertilization is occurring. So this is fertilization number 1. So let's show here. Okay, so there is a germination of pollen tube that occurs. So it will enter this synergid cell, that is through the micropylar opening. Okay, so now let's say this is the one. All right, so as soon as it enters, so this will have 2 of the male nuclei. So this particular pollen tube which is there, So this is going to grow inside, and this will release that particular egg nucleus at the site of egg nucleus. So pollen nuclei will be released. That means male nuclei and female nuclei are fusing here. So this process is basically syngamy. Okay, so syngamy, or we can also in general term can be called as a fertilization. Okay, so now this is only one first, this is the first fertilization if we are considering. So there is one more, double fertilization, that occurs. So what is that double fertilization? Anybody? So one fertilization we saw anyway. Okay, so which is that another one? Just a second. Okay, so now the other one is, you can see here, these are polar nuclei. Okay, so these two are actually polar nuclei which are coming from both the poles. Okay, so this is a polar nuclei. That means it is coming from the polar end, and hence the name is given as the polar nuclei. Okay, so in this case, one of the male gamete is fused here, the other male gamete, which is this, so that is going to get into this polar cell. So now you can see, so here we do not call it as a syngamy, but this one we call as a triple fusion. Okay, so this is called as a triple fusion. So triple fusion, when it occurs, so this is basically going to form primary endosperm nucleus in a primary endosperm cell. That means endosperm formation, we can see endosperm is going to provide a nourishment. Okay, so this will provide nutrition or a nourishment to the developing embryo. So this is done by whom? So this is basically after the triple fusion is done. So there is a generation of an endosperm that occurs. Okay, so now let's see this double fertilization. Okay, so in 1898, Sergei Navashchin, so he is the scientist, first demonstrated in liliaceous plants. So it was first demonstrated in liliaceous plants, that is Lilian mortagon and Fritillaria tenella. Okay, so these are the names. Now double fertilization involves two male gametes. So one male gametophyte is what? Pollen grain. Contained within that gametophyte of a pollen grain, so you can find two of the male gametes and two processes. So what are those two processes? So since two nuclei are there, so two processes has to occur. Okay, so now two parts of double fertilization are syngamy and triple fusion. So this is what I explained here. So the first one is called the syngamy, where one of the nuclei from the male is going to enter here, so that fusion can be done. And now here in this case, as you can see, so there is another fusion that occurs, so that is the triple fusion. So in triple fusion, what happens? The polar nuclei is getting fused with one of the nuclei that is there from the male gamete. So that is coming from the male gametophyte pollen grain. Okay, so now here triple fusion is there. Alright, so syngamy, one male gamete fuses with the egg to form a diploid zygote. So here what was the question? So what is the product of fertilization? Okay, hi hi Kashyap Astro. Okay, so what is the product of fertilization? The product of fertilization is that the zygote formation we can see. Okay, so where exactly you can find a zygote? Zygote formation you can see when one of the male nuclei or a gamete fuses with the egg. Okay, so this is getting fused with the egg to form a diploid zygote. Okay, so now where do you find the egg? Egg you find it here. So this part itself is the egg. So this will get fused then, and it is going to form a zygote. Now zygote is also referred to as 2n, and the process is called as generative fertilization. The synergy that has been penetrated by pollen tube to release the gametes and degenerate. So this is about the fate of the pollen tube which was generated. Okay, so this pollen tube which is generated earlier, then it has it has taken the entry to the through the micropylar opening. Then one of the male gamete which is there, so that is going to enter into the female reproductive part, so mainly the embryo sac. Now in this case, so once that is done, so the pollen tube to release the gametes, so that is going to degenerate. Then diploid zygote develops into an embryo. So where is that diploid zygote? So it is the fusion product itself. So this one we now can call this as a zygote. That is only the egg cell after the fusion has occurred. Okay. Alright, so the diploid, so this we saw. Okay, so triple fusion is remaining male, so there is one more gamete that is present. So remaining male gamete goes to the polar end and fuses with the two polar nuclei. So this has three haploid nuclei, so that is 3n, forming the triploid primary endosperm nucleus. The central cell now becomes the primary endosperm cell, forming the endosperm. So why this is happening? So now in this case, as you could see, okay, so once the triple fusion occurs, so this product what you see here, so I'll just highlight this here. Okay, so this whole thing which is here, so this is going to become endosperm, providing a nourishment or providing a nutrition to the cell. Okay, so then yes, so that is not cell in the sense, basically the one which is going to develop into a embryo. So zygote is the one that is going to become an embryo later on. Okay, so now in this case, the here you can see the endosperm nourishes the embryo while it develops. Okay, so now development for the nourishment. So let's say development has to occur, so this embryo has to undergo cell division, then it has to form different branches, like root system, shoot system, everything has to be developed, right? So for that, the nourishment is at the initial level when it is just a seed. So basically endosperm is the one which is providing a nourishment. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Any doubt till here? Okay, so double fertilization is seen in angiosperms because this is the one responsible for having both male and a female gamete. Okay, so with respect to that, just a second. Okay, so now angiosperms are flowering plant, and what is the function of a flower? Anybody? So this one is a flowering plant. Okay, as two male gametes are going to fuse at two ends of the ovary. Okay, so this is, they are gonna fuse at two ends of the ovary. So that means flowering plant is there. Okay, so there is a pollination that is gonna occur. So once the pollination occurs, fertilization we can see. So now as the fertilization occurs, so there is a development of a seed or a fruit will start. Okay, so double fertilization is seen in angiosperm, that is flowering plant, as two male gametes fuse to the two ends of the ovary. Okay, so now this is with respect to the embryo sac which is placed inside. Okay, and the fusion of one male gamete with the egg is called as a syngamy. So this process also we saw. So what exactly is syngamy? Then how exactly there is a fertilization that occurs. So how exactly fertilization occurs? Because the stigma and then the style. Okay, so stigma along with the pollen. Okay, so I'll just write it as a pollen. So they do interact. Okay, so there is an interaction that we can see between the stigma and then the pollen. So that interaction will make, that means what is that interaction? So if it knows that it belongs to same type of species. So in that case it will start secreting water, along with that sugar is secreted, so that this particular structure is getting a nourishment. So in that case pollen tube is being formed, it is entering, so that we call as a syngamy. Okay, so now fusion of fusion of the other male gamete with the polar nuclei, so that we call as a triple fusion. So in this again, okay, so now one of the male gamete is anyway getting combined, so there is one more male gamete, so that one more male gamete which is here, so this is going to join with the polar nuclei. Okay, so this will join with the polar nuclei, and you can see here, so 3 sets of nuclei are there. Okay, so there are 3 sets of polar nuclei that you find. Okay, so that means 3 of them are getting fused, so that is why we call this part, where is it, yeah, so we call this part a triple fusion. Okay, so all this is occurring in the plant, so you need not do anything. So this is natural, so this is a natural phenomenon based on the body structural arrangement which is done. So based on that, this is going to happen. All right, so let's see this. Then diploid zygote develops into an embryo. So you could see that this is, let's say this is an egg, these are synergid cells. So now egg nucleus is there. Okay, and you can also see that there is a male nuclei, so both of them are fused now. So as soon as the fusion occurs, so this is basically it will make let's say there is a leaf, I mean petal might be there, sepal might be there in the flower. As soon as fertilization occurs, so there is a development in ovary, so there are a lot of changes that are going to occur in ovary. So with respect to that, so petals, sepals will fall off on their own automatically. So next, the diploid zygote develops into an embryo. So this itself, so now this is a zygote. Okay, so this zygote itself is going to develop into a embryo. All right, so next, the primary endosperm cell develops from the triple fusion to form an endosperm around the embryo. So this was the one. Okay, so this is basically this whole structure which is there. So this is making a endosperm. Okay, and this endosperm provides a nourishment for the plant. All right, so let's have a look at the last one. Endosperm development precedes embryonic development. Yes, what is the meaning of this one? So even before the embryo is formed, okay, so even before the embryo is formed or completely, so first and foremost thing what has to be done, so it is basically there is endosperm requirement. So first endosperm has to be produced so that it can provide a nourishment to this particular embryo development, for the embryo development. Okay, so this is about the fertilization. So fertilization is fusion of male gamete and female gamete, which is correct, I mean whether it is correct or false, true or false. Yes, so this is fertilization is fusion of male gamete and a female gamete. So what is product of fertilization? So product of fertilization is zygote. Okay, so in that case male fuses with the female. Okay, so male and female gamete, that is sex cell, will fuse. So this product now, let's say this is a female nuclei and this is a male nuclei, so both of them are fused. So this product which is there, so this we call as a zygote, then it will take over the mechanism and then a complete embryo formation you can see. So let's not draw the embryo here. So embryo formation occurs from the zygote. So but before this, endosperm has to be formed so that it can provide a nourishment. Okay, alright, so before I end this session, any doubts you have, any of you? So it is all subject batch, the guardians batch. So this has already started, so you have an option to watch the recordings also. So you can watch the recording. So if you are subscribing for ICSE class 9, so you will be getting ICSE class 10, 11 to 12 subscription absolutely free. Okay, so now there is eternals batch. Okay, so this is all subject batch. So this also is starting from today itself, that is 20th of April, and mode of delivery is English. So you can see here different educators with their subjects, so they'll be explaining their subject. So again, if you are subscribing for class 9, you will be getting class 10 to 12 subscription absolutely free. And this is my referral code, here I'll write. Okay, so Vani YT. Okay, so this is my referral code. So with this referral code, you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription. Okay, so next there is Avengers batch also. So this is started on 13th of April. Mode of delivery is English here. Okay, also this new academic year that you can go for with the code Vani YT. So this is my code Vani YT. Okay, so with this referral code, you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription, and you can go for any of these months based on your convenience. Okay, so introducing community, never miss on any update from your favorite educator. Get session notes and practice material. Share your feedback directly with the educator via poll. Check out the link to the educator community below. Okay, so Bucks Bounty, so this is opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video. So be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description. So how you can watch my special classes? All you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app, open the app and then click on get started, then so this one is basically enter your mobile number and OTP and sign up using the email ID. All right, so next there is you can select the category class 6 to 12, then you can select your category again ICSE. So there is CBSE category, ICSE category, so you will have different state board categories, so you can select your ICSE category there. Okay, so now you can select preferred language like English, Hindi or a English. All right, then one second. Okay, then go to the description of this video and click on the special class link. Click on notify me and you will get notified 10 minutes before the class begins. You can use my code to unlock the special class for free. Okay, so what is the code? So it is Vani YT. Okay, so this is my referral code. I'll just write it here. Okay, so this is my referral code, so you can use this code to get 10% discount on the subscription, and also you can unlock the free products there that are there on Unacademy platform. Okay, so there is something. Okay, so thank you all, see you all in the next session. So click on bell icon to get notified about the classes. Subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC both. Download the Unacademy Learners app, like and share the videos. This PDF anyway I can send it on my Telegram. Okay, so see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone.